Commence primary ignition.
Hey, I'm actor Chris Bartlett from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.
Hey, Rebels.
Hi, Rebels. Happy Monday. And thank you, Chris,
Thanks,
for the
Chris.
intro. Chris was among our many guests out on the California vacation, which now is like 2 weeks ago at this point, which is crazy. It
Why is time
flies by like
flying?
that.
I hate it.
Yeah. The summer is almost over. We're at the midway point of August, basically, which is sad.
I
But
know.
it's
Not
been a really,
ready.
really fun summer. I know we've had a great time here on the network. Obviously, the vacation was a ton of fun. Um, and we are in our equally sad march, not just to the end of summer, but to the end of Rebels Revisited. It's crazy. I know. Pour one
Over
out
2
for.
years we've been doing this.
Yeah, I got to be honest, I didn't think we would go beyond like 80 episodes, right? But we mixed in a lot of other random fun stuff.
Yeah, we were
But we
smart
still have
about it.
another month to go or so, or more than that. We have a lot more to cover
Oh,
before
yeah.
now in the end.
We ain't
Yeah.
done.
And in fact, we're actually doing a little bit of a repeat tonight. So for everyone who's joining us, we're doing another watch along, and tonight we're doing A World Between Worlds, which we actually covered last summer during the summer of Snips, before we were 100% confirmed that we would see the world between worlds in Ahsoka. And then guess what? We did.
We totally did.
Yeah.
It was a nice little refresher before we were just like,
Yeah. So we decided because we are in the ramp up of season 4, we
hi,
would do it
Sherry.
again. Hello, Sherry. Thank you for joining us. Uh, we are thrilled to be back with our regularly scheduled Rebels related programming. Um, I was in the car on the drive home from where I did go into the office today. So I think
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if I mentioned this on air last week, but I had COVID. Um, and I didn't actually test until like right before we went live on the show. And it turned out I was positive. And so I worked from home the entire rest of the week. I didn't leave my apartment from Monday after getting home from work until this morning when I left for work. So Tuesday through Sunday night, Monday morning was just me trapped in this what is the spare bedroom, my office, trying to not infect my husband. And guess what? That didn't work. He was sick 2 days later, so he is still testing
Oh,
positive.
I'm sorry,
Poor Jason.
Jason. Get
Yeah, so
better
he's
soon.
yeah, he's annoyed, but he's doing okay. Between the two of us, it's just been one thing after another. Yeah, Sherry,
Oh, Sherry.
so were you okay? First question. And then for anyone else who's in the chat, who else came back from San Diego or California in general with some type of crud? Because I know someone who has pneumonia,
Oh,
not from
jeez.
our trip, but and I know multiple people from San Diego Comic Con who caught
Yeah.
COVID.
I
It
like
was a hotbed.
more than half of my friends had it who went to San Diego. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Hopefully you're healthy as well, Sarah. Hopefully
Yeah.
no one else is sick. Um, Multiple people came home with something. And for me, well, I'm glad you tested negative, Sherry. I did for a first couple days, but here's the timeline for everyone at home. I was in California. I went to San Diego for the Saturday, Sunday of San Diego Comic Con, then went up to LA. So San Diego to LA, and then LA to Anaheim, obviously, and then Disneyland. Flew home on the red eye, went to work that day, did the watch along with Ashley. Remember, we did the Thursday
Yeah.
night watch along
Yep.
where we watched the Rebels panel, which was really fun. Then went to work that Friday. Friday afternoon, went to Fire Island. I was there on the beach and partying Friday, Saturday, come home Sunday, went to work on Monday, and then Monday evening, right when we were doing Rebels Revisited last week, I realized wasn't feeling well and tested, and the
You
cough
sounded
was like
like you
unmanageable.
were sick.
Yeah, it was a bad cough and bad congestion.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was
sorry.
not great, despite all my taking vitamin C and everything else. Like, there's only so much you can do. Um,
Exactly.
but I feel much, much better now. Um, it's actually why I wasn't producing on Wednesday night during Daughters of the Galaxy. I was actually like fast asleep at like 10 o'clock. So I've been sitting in my spare bedroom slash prison. And I've been rewatching Firefly, which is something I've been threatening to do
Yay.
for a little while. So,
Threatening.
yeah, I have the mental block with Whedon, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't want to support anything Whedon, and at the same time, like I've wanted to rewatch the show for a while, and I've been watching not a listicle, a YouTube series about the show, and I
Mhm.
was like, you know what, let me rewatch it once. So yes, we are big damn heroes, and I gotta say that show is still highly quotable,
Oh, yeah.
and very rewatchable, and it really holds up, and even the special effects are not bad. Like
That's
the
good.
story, the acting, everything in there, the little Easter eggs. Yeah, look. Oh, we're 3 for 3 in the chat. Dave, Sherry, Sarah. Like, damn,
Yes. It's a
the
good
fucking
squad.
so
Honest honestly, I had that Blu-ray, like, both the Blu-ray and the Blu-ray for for Firefly and Serenity. I got them on
hmm
Amazon for, like, 10 bucks each during, like, a sale, and
hmm
I sat on them for, like, I wanna say 6 years before I actually watched them during COVID,
hmm
and I was like, "What the hell? Why have I been sitting on this?" And then I watched Serenity, and I'm like, "Oh, screw you. Like, this is so
hmm
awful." Because wash and I had met Alan Tudyk, and he signed a wash print for me that
hmm
said, "I'm a leaf on the wind, watch
Leaf
me
on the wind.
soar." And I was like, "Oh, what the hell? Like, this is the absolute worst thing you could do to such a beloved character," and just,
Yeah.
hated it.
Well, the thought was
Gross.
if the movie was going to be successful, there would be additional movies, or maybe even the TV show comes back. But
Mhm.
Alan Tudyk couldn't commit, so that's why they had to kill off
Oh,
Wash.
okay. I didn't know
Because
that
they'd
was
rather
that.
do that than do it off screen, right?
Yeah.
Um,
"Oh, no,
and
Wash fell down an elevator shaft," or something like
yeah,
that. Okay.
exactly. And
Right.
apparently, Preacher Book had a similar situation where he actually really didn't want to come back at all, but that's
Yeah.
why he's in a small portion of the movie.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, I mean, he's got other projects. In fact, most of them had other
He
projects at
passed
this
away
point.
since then,
Yeah,
Ron Glass. Yeah, he was
yeah, it's
really
very
good,
sad.
but,
That whole cast is incredible, and it feels so ahead of its time and yet
mhm.
weirdly of the moment. Like, it feels very
Yeah.
artsy, like,
Yeah.
and at the same time, just man, it's such a great show. And actually, I say it all the time, it reminds me of Rebels. Rebels and Firefly feel intertwined in a way
Yeah.
that it's hard to unravel it. Like, a ragtag crew living on a ship, going on adventures. In some ways they're kind of viewed as the bad guys because they're going up against the big empire. Like, it's literally the
Yeah.
Alliance Empire. Yeah,
It was
I
shiny.
say
It
I
totally
used to say
shiny.
shiny all the time,
I
Sherry.
do, and
Yeah,
nobody everyone's like, "Okay." Like, all these 20
shiny.
somethings I work with, these Gen
Yeah, they don't know.
Zers are like, What?"
Yeah, I have a new employee who's 22, and so she is a year older than the show Firefly, right? Like, this is the kind of,
Wait a minute.
um,
Hold on.
yeah, the show came
Thinking
out in
about this.
2002, so
Oh, I
it's kind of crazy.
I was a year out of high school.
I had just I was still in college. It was that summer between junior year,
Yeah,
senior year, I think.
I
I think
just
that
started
that
college,
timeline makes
so
up.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
good times. So anyway,
oh,
that was my
we're old.
COVID week
Oh,
of
no.
yeah,
Ah,
I know, Dave,
sorry, Dave.
the old man and the crew. Don't make me show you my Firefly collection. Sarah,
Whoa,
all right,
Sarah.
beyond there wasn't a ton of merch for Firefly. So Sarah, I'm curious as to what you have
I know
beyond the
Think
DVD
Geek
set.
Think Geek did a lot of Firefly stuff.
Mhm.
Like, it was stuff you could only get there, like Kaylee's bag. It was like a messenger bag inspired by Kaylee's overalls.
Yep.
The spiral
The
like
umbrella.
umbrella.
Yep.
Lots of fan art for that. A Captain Mel action figure, and one of the few autographs I have is Nathan.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's awesome.
Nathan's terrific. I have his autograph on, well, it's on a trading card, but I have it sort of almost like a shadow boxy kind of thing on a Captain Hammer print. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, again, another Whedon
Another
property,
Whedon
unfortunately.
thing.
Damn it. Look, I've dressed as Dr. Horrible for Halloween a couple times, and I've been Captain Hammer more than once. I'm
Yeah.
probably closer now, again, to the Dr. Horrible physique than the Captain Hammer physique, but um, either way, it's a good Halloween costume. Okay, figurines, flats, flasks, artwork, cool, good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's good.
Um, I've always wanted to cosplay as Mal. I think if I get the hair right, I could pull it off. Because it's brown pants with suspenders, a long brown coat, some
Maroon
good boots.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's relatively doable. I know that there are good places to get, or there are places to get good pieces online.
Yeah.
Not super difficult to do. And if you have someone who can dress as Kaylee with the umbrella makes it right. A jumpsuit engineer's kind of look,
That
and
flower shirt is really hard to find too. Like you have to
yeah,
go to like a special like maker to get an exact replica of that shirt, but people make do. So,
you know what you could do is if you
or
go to Mood.
Kaylee's dress, like the pink
Yeah.
dress.
Oh, the
So,
pink frilly dress from Shindig.
mhm.
Shindig might be my favorite episode in the whole
It's
series.
so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we
Anyway,
turn over to Firefly Revisited, um, ooh, a Firefly Encyclopedia, Sherry.
that's a
I'm gonna
cool
have
book.
to. I
Oh,
think. Do I have that? It's bad that I don't know. I'd have to look on my bookshelf.
uh, that would be really cool. I just remembered something, but anyway, it's okay.
Um, yeah, I think Firefly Revisited would be a fun little series. Not maybe for the VCN, but another YouTube channel. Well,
It could
what
be
else were
like
we gonna do? We were gonna do a Buffy thing at one point, weren't
we
we?
were.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
be like a special presentation, like
Yeah. Could be good times.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Um,
outside of my Firefly rewatch, I mean, the weekend was really taken over by
yeah.
D23. Like, we have a
Yeah.
lot
Oh
of
my
Star Wars
God.
news that we
Okay.
have to get into.
Yes. So we will jump into that right
Hmm.
now. Like, first of all, Skeleton Crew. It does exist.
It's a real show that's really happening.
And Space Suburbia, who saw that coming?
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. You have this planet with all these kids from like different walks of life, different aliens, things like that. But they're all
Mhm.
living together in this like totally believable like suburban like situation. And it's just gonna be magic from here. Like I'm really
Very Amblin, very
ve-
ET, very Goonies.
very
Yeah.
and what better property to do something like this than a Lucasfilm property? Like they're
Yeah.
experienced in this stuff. Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg is like this with George Lucas.
I'm
So
amazed that he's not an executive producer, but Kathleen
yeah,
is. So,
yeah. So she
like,
knows, and
yeah.
probably her husband Frank, who was instrumental in making Indiana Jones movies and all of those movies in the 80s. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be
It's definitely got
fun,
an 80s
guys.
feel to it. Um, Jude Law popped in. It looks like they think
You're a
he's a Jedi.
Jedi.
He's a
What?
Force user. I think he's a bad guy.
Really?
I think he's a villain. Yeah.
Oh,
That's my
hoping
take
he's not.
anyway. I mean, I don't
Like he
know.
was just
Secret villain.
okay. He was just a villain. He was Jan Rog in Captain Marvel. For those who haven't seen it, he was the villain in that one. And it's not common for Jude Law to like play a villain in something. So that was like the first thing I've seen of him taking that villain turn. So it's entirely possible, or he could be like
Yeah.
kind of a mentor, like a Merlin the wizard or a Gandalf the wizard that's
Hmm.
leading these kids to what they seek. So
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope it's that. Mark his total
Sure.
dark side.
Oh,
He's
no.
like all the time.
Well, you know, it is, I'm always looking for what are they not telling us, and they're telling
Yeah.
us he's a Jedi, and I don't believe them for a second. At the same time, it is a kids thing, so it could be just truly earnest, being like, "Hey, we're introducing Jude Law as a Jedi. Take it at face value." Um, which that
Yeah.
would be fine too. I think Jude Law's a great
Yeah.
actor, and I
So
think
good. He's nice to look
considering
at.
you have to wrangle all these children, which I'm not thrilled about, having someone with the gravitas of a Jude Law to like keep things moving.
Yeah.
And apparently Marty Matulis is back as that
Yes,
alien Vane.
Vane.
So that'll be
We got
cool. Look, I love
pirates
a
in
pirate. Look, a
space.
children versus pirates is as Goonies as it gets. So
Absolutely.
I'm in. with what little I know. I
I
do know
want
that's not coming out till December though, so we have a long road ahead of us between all of August, September, whatever. But there is one thing happening in before that, Star Wars related, that I think is going to be hella fun, and that is Rebuild the Galaxy. Like,
yes.
I am pumped about Rebuild the Galaxy.
Jamie and I were losing our collective shit over this
Yeah.
Dark Side Nubs.
Oh my god, when I texted that to you guys, I thought that Jamie would have known. Like, here's the thing: Jamie has like radar for this kind of shit, right?
Oh,
So
totally.
the fact that
Yeah.
she didn't notice Darth Nubs was the kind of thing, yeah, that I was like, I thought she would have known immediately. Oh, hey, Ahsoka,
She wants
welcome
to
to the
say,
show. She's so
says,
beautiful.
feel better. Thank you.
Aaron, I agree that I think that it's going to be like Goonies. Um, it's going to
Mhm.
be Goonies Star Wars. It's going to feel very Amblin. I think the kids are going to be fun. I think they're going to go on little misadventures, try to find. They have to find their way home, right? Which is kind of
Yeah.
the plot of Goonies.
And it looks like they stole a ship. Like they got a ship working and they're like, whoa, we get to finally get off the planet and see the whole galaxy. Like they seem
Yeah,
really excited about that. It's like little kids and they'd steal a boat or something.
yeah.
Um,
I think the button goes accidentally, and they don't know where they go, right? Because they
yeah.
don't know how to navigate
They
a
don't know
ship,
how to do
obviously.
anything.
Yeah.
But I
So
love
that's
that
going to
the
be
girl
fun.
that has the visor. I thought it was like permanently over her eyes, but it looks like she can flip it up and down. Yeah, up and
Yeah,
down.
it looks like it flips down.
So
So
the perspective and like the prospect of all these kids, you know, being able to make cosplay based on these kids, like I can't
yeah,
wait. It's gonna be
that'll be
so
really
cool to
fun.
see.
I like that there are different like entrance ramps onto Star Wars now, because obviously like the Young Jedi Adventures will get like the preschool kids, and then this could be for like the kids, because there isn't an animated series running right now to bring you in. Like there isn't a
Yeah,
Rebels or a Clone Wars or a Resistance, live action for kids could be really fun. And yes, Aaron, there's like a baby Max Rebo of some type. Like that little blue
yeah.
guy is the same species as Max Rebo. Um, and then I do want to comment on your Darth Jar Jar. So let's go back to Rebuild the Galaxy real quick. So the premise of Rebuild the Galaxy, from what I can tell, is there's something called like a cornerstone or a corner block or whatever it is. And when that gets removed, like the integrity of the galaxy like falls apart, and so everything gets switched up. So they show these little scenes transform
Oh,
from the
that's
canon
wild.
we know and love to things that are like patently incorrect, right?
The Dark Falcon,
Yeah.
which is a Lego
So
set right now.
yeah, which is very cool. Yeah, Rebuild the Galaxy is going to be wild, Sarah, and I think like some of the things that they decided to do are like really like in some ways kind of obvious but really fun. Like Hoth going from an ice planet to a fire planet. The AT-ATs on Hoth going from the Imperials to Rebel Alliance. Darth Vader being like a white color
Yep,
instead of
there.
black, which I saw the white Vader at the Lego situation at San Diego Comic Con. I took a picture with
Wow.
that. So White Vader is obviously he's like a good guy. Um, we have the Dark Falcon, which has a little mini laser beam on it that looks like a tiny Death Star kind of laser beam, right? So like the Falcon is the
A
ship for the
freaking
bad
laser
guys,
beam.
which includes like a bad C-3PO, and like that's going to be really fun. And then whatever that surfer
Yeah.
interpretation of Luke Skywalker was, where he's like meta and self-aware, like, I don't know what the hell's happening with that. But yeah, Sherry, this is our What If. So for everyone who's been watching What If in like the MCU now, the cartoon of What If, um, this is as close as you're going to get with Star Wars. Like they're never going to
Yeah.
give us a Star Wars What If, but like Rebuild the Galaxy allows us to have fun with it. You don't have to, worry about the canon. It's Lego, which their whole thing is Lego's supposed to be fun and silly, which
Goofy
is
and
the thing
fun.
I've been
Yeah.
screaming about, right? Like remember on the last episode I was talking about how Disney treats Star Wars like church, right?
Yeah.
Like it is serious and it is to be revered and it
Yeah.
is to be respected and it's not fun. And then Rebuild the Galaxy comes out and it's like, oh shit, this is really fun. Like that's the kind of
Yeah.
attitude they need to have. Yes,
Yeah.
and Ahmed Best popping in as Darth Jar Jar,
Darth
which
Jar Jar.
every prequel kid is losing their mind right now in the best possible way. And who was with
Yeah.
him? Rose, Darth Rose, like the sweetest, nicest person probably in the entire like
Yeah.
resistance. They gave her a
I
lightsaber, and I hope it's Kelly Marie like hating everyone who was mean to her, right?
I
Like,
love it. I
yeah,
absolutely love it. I was like, "Oh, it's Rose Tico. Oh my
mhm.
god, girl is
The
taking people out."
nicest characters who are
The
probably
nicest
treated the
human being
worst.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jar Jar, Rose, Nubs. like people who do not deserve the treatment they got are now taking their revenge.
Oh,
So
take that.
yeah,
Love
I
from
want to see
Lego.
her like just slice down like every dude bro in the way. It's gonna be awesome.
All these
Yeah,
Dupro soldiers.
yeah, yeah. The
Um,
internet. She just like assaults the internet.
the entire internet. Oh wait, what, Aaron? Legos what my cat destroys that I have to step on in the middle of the night.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Princess. Princess Kitty. No. It's that calico way, I'm telling you.
Yeah, my cats
So
love a Lego piece.
we also had with our girl Vanessa Marshall doing a Lucasfilm animation panel,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and more to come. Both her and Athena Portillo said so. I'm excited. I'm
Woo.
hopeful. Like, they're not gonna drop anything just yet. I think they're probably saving it up for Celebration to
Yeah.
have their big news. But honestly, it's exciting, and I'm so glad Vanessa gets to be part of it. We see R5 with them, so yeah,
Yep.
I
And
I want to see where it
just
goes
to
next.
close the loop on Lego, they said something like 4-part mini series. So I don't know if that means it all drops on the same day, but it's coming in September. So we'll do something here on the network for it,
Yeah, of
probably the day and
course.
date. And maybe we'll rewatch some of the other Lego things on the Thursday night watch along. We have to figure that out, but I think that'll be really fun as a network to like watch the Lego stuff. I love the Halloween one,
Yeah.
the
Oh my
Tales
God.
from the creepy castle, Tales from Vader's castle or whatever with Grabala the Hutt. That's hysterical. That
So
that whole
great.
special. Yeah.
Gotta love
Um,
old
what else
Dana.
did we get from Star Wars? They talked
Um,
about Mando and and
Mando and
Grogu the
Grogu. We see
movie.
our boy Zeb
Yep.
piloting a Razor Crest. Oh,
Yep. Dave, you are
Dave.
out of your mind.
Oh my God, we have to now because it's how many episodes? It's only like what,
It's 14.
14 episodes. We could totally
Yeah.
like squeeze in a little mini series if we
Take
wanted
them
to.
in every alternating Saturday or something.
Yeah, just
Um,
for
that
funsies.
could be really fun. I could do that.
Yeah,
We'll
Buffy would
we'll bring
obviously be
in
longer, but we could do best
yeah,
of Buffy's.
Buffy
Yeah,
is
Sarah will be
unmanageable. Yeah.
watching. Yeah,
It'll be the 3 of us just talking to each other, which and Sherry. So there we go. Which I think is perfectly reasonable an audience.
totally fine.
So I love Firefly so much. It's
Me too.
so disheartening to have
I'm
so much
so
hatred
mad
for
that I was
Joss,
so
but
late with
like
it.
yeah. Well, here's the thing now. Media lives forever, especially now. Like as much as media is disappearing in some ways, like yeah.
Yeah. Oh, physical media
Um
is alive and well in my house. I
yeah.
do not like downloading stuff or streaming stuff as much as I can. If I can
Yeah.
get it in physical form, it's mine.
Yep, I've got the Buffy Chosen collection for that exact
Oh
reason.
yeah, I
You know,
passed math class, so I bought myself the
yeah,
Buffy box set
done
in
and done.
college. You don't understand. I took this math class 4 times because I suck at math, and I
Oh no.
finally, I finally passed it with a B minus because I worked my butt off, and I hate math, and I got
Mhm.
this beautiful box set, so I was happy.
Um,
Those are maybe the
Aaron, are you
collectibles.
talking about the voice actors in Lego? Um, yeah, they did recast a bunch of voices. So, of course, because
Yeah,
it's Lego. Yeah.
yeah, it
Um,
happens. It's just fine.
so after Lego, we're Mando and Grogu. So we saw that
Yeah,
Zeb is included.
and Razor
We
Crest.
yeah, Razor Crest is back somehow. There's also a lot of footage shown from the prior seasons for new people to sort of get them um, up to speed. So I feel like it's going to be a culmination of all their adventures, of course.
Right.
I don't know what the plot's going to be and who's all going to return, but they did show the armorer. They did show Bo-Katan. They showed a bunch of different random
Fennec.
people. Yep, Fennec. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought back the whole crew for like one last heist,
One
like
last
whatever that thing is
heist.
going to be. Or what if Grogu gets captured? Like there's any number of things that could happen. But I really hope they're on an adventure together and they need to go save someone. I hope the stakes are
Yeah.
like so low that we actually like joke about like this could have been an email. Like I don't want there to be any peril whatsoever. I want everyone to make it
Save
out
the
alive.
baby. Save
Yeah,
the dream.
because they also need to all return for the big Dave Filoni extravaganza movie. Whatever that's going to be, like Heir to the Empire or whatever. So, which will obviously
Extravaganza.
be after Mando Grogu,
Mhm.
which by the way is filming in LA right now, and we know nothing about it other than leaks that we probably shouldn't know.
Oh, I
But
know
even then,
nothing.
the leaks have been really not like a whole lot of nothing from what I can tell. Like, oh, so and so was called to set. And I'm like, all right, well, that's someone from the Creature Shop, and they play 12 characters, maybe even a different one this time. So
Yeah.
I got nothing.
That's absolutely nothing. It's
Yeah,
it's it's just clickbait news at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing to report. The other big news was Andor season 2. We finally got like a teaser trailer situation, and there's
Your
some big.
girl's back, Mark,
Oh,
and
of
your
course. Look,
boy.
yeah, look, everyone's back from season 1 except for the people who died. So that's good news.
Yeah.
The additions were what I thought were interesting, right? So like we know that Ben Mendelsohn is back as
Yay,
Krennic,
Mendelssohn.
which was surprising.
Love
I
it.
didn't think we would see him. And then Saw Gerrera is back, so which is nice. Like I liked him; he was good in his like one little episode in season
I
1. I didn't think
I
it was
love
critical for us
how
to see
much
him, but
yeah, I love how much Forrest Whitaker has like taken this character that just showed up in like Clone Wars
mhm,
and and Rogue One and just made him into this mega character in Star Wars and like
yeah,
this vigilante for the rebellion and it's cool. We see Two Tubes come back.
yeah. Two tubes. And in fact, a lot of people are back. Mon Mothma, Deidre Miro, like the whole crew basically. Anyone, like I said, anyone who's still alive. Andor looked like he had a different outfit on. I swear he was wearing like an orange red kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker is obviously a big deal. Um, I couldn't really tell what the plot points were. And again, I'm not a story licensee, so I don't know. But my assumption is that because there are 12 episodes again, there'll probably be 4 3-part arcs like last time,
Yeah.
only each arc could be a year because I
Yes,
think they're
that
counting
is
down,
exactly what Diego Luna
right?
said during the presentation.
Oh,
They're gonna
perfect.
each little arc is gonna be a year leading up to the events of Rogue One.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-year time frame throughout this. So
I
um,
really wish,
I don't know. I'm not ready.
yeah, I really wish it was a slightly longer show because I thought Andor season 1 was some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen.
So
Um,
good.
yeah, I really, uh, it's just so smart. Yeah, Aaron, you're right. Sadly, we know how it ends. Um, I think it's the journey of how we get there that's so interesting. Like, if you
Yeah.
had asked me on paper, what show do we need the least? Andor would have probably been the one. I was like, it's not Felicity. And Rogue One was already a prequel to A New Hope. I was like, what the hell don't we know about this time period? There's already a million things set in like the time period of the building of the rebellion. Um, but yeah, here we go. It ends minutes before Rogue One. Right before you watch the last episode, be ready to spend another 2 hours watching the movie. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Um, I
And then you
look.
have to watch New Hope, and then the next thing you know, you're watching the entire saga all over again.
Yeah, and look, I don't need it to connect so neatly to Rogue One for it to matter. Like
Yeah.
I thought some of the most interesting stuff was like what was going on Ferrix, you
Yeah.
know, and the Empire and all of
I'm
that.
really worried about Bix though. Like she was
Yeah,
straight up tortured
of
by
course she
the
was.
Empire.
Yeah.
And I worry that it may have turned her against the rebellion
Or is
and
it gonna
against
radicalize her like Saw Gerrera? Like,
yeah.
I think she could take
So
that
it could
path.
go anyway. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm worried about our girl. It's kind of rough for her.
Yeah, look, she obviously went through the worst of it. I think Deidre Miro also is sort of getting what she deserves, right?
Mhm.
She's terrible and is, radicalized in a different way,
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah, with Cyril. Um,
Oh,
so
Cyril and Mama
yeah,
Cyril.
Cyril and Deidre Miro are going to be an interesting combo to be dealt with in
Mhm.
that season. And by the way, they have nothing to do with the Death Star unless they go work for Ben Mendelsohn and Krennic. Like you never know. Like that would be kind of interesting, but also I don't need it. Like what I love about Andor is that like we get to how many different planets, seeing the rebellion build, Mon Mothma in the Senate. The Death Star is looming, but it doesn't even matter. It's all about building the rebellion. Um, like
Did you
it
see
actually could be I think it could have been the show that went for 10 seasons. That's what's so
yeah.
crazy.
Did you see any new footage of Luthen?
I don't think so, but
That worries
I
me.
here's the thing. I'm sure we'll get something with him.
Mhm.
Um and he was one of the best parts of season 1, that speech about like burning down his own life to create the fire that the sun that he'll never see or whatever it
The
is. I
sunset
was
he'll
I was
never
forgetting.
see, yeah.
Yeah. Like amazing. And I'm never going to be
Beautiful.
able to do it justice even if I had the script in front of me. Um I think he's super compelling, as is the shop girl that works with him.
Yeah.
Um, but there are so many little characters that have big things to say about the rebels and the building of the Rebel Alliance. I want it all, and that's why I'm like really disappointed. It's only 2 seasons.
I know.
Yeah,
But it's like,
and
and
again,
Andy
I
Circus. Like, what about Andy Circus? What about
yeah. Oh, he drowned. I mean, come on. He
Yeah.
drowned along with a lot of other people. I don't think hardly anyone made it out. I say it all the time. I'm technically capable of swimming. I don't think I can swim in the ocean, and I don't know if I would have survived that drop. And if you're not great at swimming, and we know Andy couldn't swim, he done drowned, drowned.
Kino,
One
no. No,
one way.
Kino.
That's what it was.
No, Kino Lloyd,
Yeah,
no.
one way down.
Oh,
So
Mark,
yeah.
you're so mean.
That's terrible. By the way, don't you think though that One Way Out will be the thing that like stays with the fandom for years?
Somebody came to
So
my table
yeah,
yesterday
floaty.
wearing a teal blue shirt with the word One Way Out, and the O was the Rebel logo.
Yep. Yeah, that's
So,
the kind of thing where it's become a rallying cry. And I say
Dave,
it all the
yeah.
time. He did drown though, just to be clear. He is gone,
No body,
physically
no
gone.
crime. No
Yeah.
body, no crime.
Like I would be shocked if we see him again. But Kino Loy, like here's the thing, I think it would cheapen his story if we found out he survived. Because the point is to choose, and it was I will not be a slave. I will not work for this machine of fascism. And I'm going to at least try, which I say it all the time. The thesis of Andor is to try. It sort of
Yep.
flies in direct, it flies in the face of the directive of the Jedi, right? There is
Yeah.
no do or do not, there is no try. And
Yeah.
the point of Andor is you have to try.
Yeah.
um,
Aaron.
Aaron, whatever delusion it takes. Um, I don't think that Kino Loy made it. I don't think that most of those guys made it, and I don't
Uh,
think it matters. I think actually the point is that most of them didn't make it, but it's better than the situation they were in.
that is
And
true.
that you have to start somewhere, and like that escape led to Andor escaping, who blows up the Death Star. There's like a butterfly effect to this. The same
And
thing
he
with
was,
everyone else along the way. A lot of other people died helping him, like the kid that died, the kid, the really idealistic one who had the manifesto, like he's
yeah.
dead.
Oh,
Um,
that's
Terrible.
brutal. That's
Yeah, no,
brutal.
there it and but that's war, and
That's
that's
more
and this isn't even war yet. This is just like trying to form the they're still just thought of as like individually operating
radicals. Yeah.
terrorists. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just radicals. This is like the IRA before they were like fully formed, right? They weren't really an actual party. They were just like, you know, throwing bottles of booze on fire into buildings. So,
What else
what
did
do we
we
got?
have?
Drowning versus sharks and electric boats.
Not okay.
Yeah.
Um, what else did we have? Oh, we
So
had
we talked about
our
Andor.
our boy Manny Jacinto
Yep.
uh,
Signing
came out
autographs.
with Kristen Baver. Talked about The Stranger, his time on you know the Acolyte, and meet and greet out of nowhere. So if you were lucky enough to be in the Lucasfilm Pavilion at that time, that's amazing. So I know
Yeah.
my friend was there, but she didn't get an autograph. Like the line was just insane. So
I can't imagine a free autograph signing with Manny Jacinto. People love
yeah.
him.
He
I'm telling
wasn't
you, Lucasfilm.
personalizing, but he was signing the one where like he has the lightsabers like this,
Oh, that's
and
cute.
he was just writing his name, which is beautiful
I'm sure
autograph
it
by the
was
way.
as many as he could bang out, right?
Yeah,
Um, Lucasfilm struck gold with
they did.
him and the character, but more importantly with him.
Mm,
I think Disney needs to figure out if they're not going to continue with the stranger or that character or something, what are they doing with Manny Jacinto as an actor? Because a lot of the people move between the studios. Chris Evans went from Captain America to being in Lightyear, right?
yeah,
And then into Deadpool. Like he's hopped around a little,
yeah,
and numerous people from the Marvel verse are now working in Disney. Yvette Nicole Brown is basically like under a studio contract, like the old MGM days. That
yeah.
lady is
Seriously,
everywhere. In
love
fact, she was
her.
on stage for like a good portion of like the
Yeah,
Disney
she was
thing,
like the
wearing her
MC
ears,
man.
and yeah. By the way, I love her. She's
Yes,
really
me
fun on
too.
back when Twitter was still a relevant place to be. Like I would follow her, and her
I
tweets are
still
off
follow
the
her.
chain.
I follow her on
Yeah,
Instagram. She's the sweetest.
yeah,
Um,
she's good people, and she's someone who's part of like that studio. they should do something similar with Manny Jacinto. They need to get
Yeah,
him name above the title onto a project immediately.
that's true. And
Yeah.
they also, I know they had like a lot of like Star Wars merch you could buy if you were a D23 Gold member, like the Star Tours speeder, OT's knife from
Hmm.
Rise of Skywalker.
And who doesn't
Um,
want that?
yeah, that's and obviously they had like the James and Matt and Ashley. They had the Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan box set, but 100 of those box sets on Shop Disney were autographed by the three of them. So
Oh
that's
wow.
really cool. And the demand was high, and the resale value on those things
I can't imagine.
is gonna be.
There
They
was a
made
significant
3,000
upcharge for
sets.
the autographed?
No, it's the same price. It just there were
Oh.
3,000 of these box sets, and only 100 of these at random were signed by Ashley, Matt, and James.
Oh wow.
So, and it was
So
whatever you got online, you don't know, and it's everything sealed. So
I can't imagine. People are
the
gonna lose their minds when they,
oh yeah,
you know. All right.
yeah,
Meanwhile, with
exciting.
that in mind, I'm looking at the time. We do want to
It's
start our
time.
episode. Um, let's get ready to pull up our Disney Plus machine. We are in season 4. As we said at the top of the show, we are in our countdown to goodbye over here. As we're nearing the end of season 4. There's only 16 episodes in season 4.
Yeah,
And we're already at episode 13 with A World Between Worlds. We still have to go through A Fool's Hope, and then we'll consider Family Reunion and Farewell as like 2 separate ones. It's really 15, but we're gonna break it into 2 when we watch it with you guys. It just doesn't make sense to try to do them all at once. Like, aside from the fact that we're gonna be crying the whole time, it
right.
just makes sense to like break it up. And we didn't want to skip this in our watch along, in our rewatch along, even though we talked about it last summer. So everyone, get your Disney Plus ready. We're at season 4, episode 13, A World Between Worlds. And Dave, hit that countdown. Or if you need me to do it, just I can do it. Maybe I'll hit the countdown. Um, if I can find the countdown. We're in the excellent. Thank you, Dave. Dave is producing for us tonight, everyone. And then I almost forgot to hit the countdown, hit play on the episode as the countdown was going.
Oh, here we
So in the last
go.
episode, which
All
was
the
like
voices.
3 weeks ago, the last time we were all together watching, Ezra was outside of the Jedi Temple on Lothal, being chased by the stormtroopers and everything. He activated the mural, the father, the son, and the daughter. The 2D animation comes alive. The father's hand goes over. This circle pops up with the wolves. He jumps in through the portal, and then the portal closes. So now he jumps through the 2D animation and ends up here. And you
I love
probably
that.
heard very faintly multiple voices talking to him, including Yoda, which Yoda, Obi-Wan, there's a ton of them. There's actually a few videos online where people have overlaid images of like where the clips are from.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
And so if you have your subtitles on, which I assume most people do,
Yep.
like he's talking about the force, it surrounds us, it binds the galaxy together. He's explaining what the force is. That's something that happens in the future though. Like that dialogue is from A New Hope, which has not happened yet. So we're already aware that we're in a place and time that is outside space and time.
Yeah. Time does not
So
exist there.
back on Lothal proper, um, Sabine was found out with Ezra, right? And this guy, Mandy Patinkin over here, um, uh, knows who she is and knows that she is an art expert. And Grand Admiral Thrawn has spoken highly of her, which that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Imagine being a teenager and an artist, and like the head of the museum thinks you're amazing, even if he's like an evil dictator still.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, he's got expertise in art.
He does the arting. Oh yeah, because they're cooler than you, bro.
Hmm. It's just crazy to even hear them talk about the Emperor.
Uh,
I like that he knows Kanan Jarrus and Caleb Doom. Ooh, meaningless end.
Huh. No. Yep.
The doors open, the Emperor will find him. Some scary stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which doesn't that sort of give away that the Emperor has force powers? Like,
Is anybody paying attention to this?
I know. I love these pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I I
That's
I
like
wish
the
we could just get
Ahsoka
some
star map,
schematics. Yeah.
kinder.
Pathway between all space and time. It's the TARDIS.
Think of how much damage Palpatine could do with the control of this portal.
Yeah.
He could erase the Jedi from existence.
And don't you think Balin Skull is looking for something not quite like erase the Jedi from existence, but that same type of big reset button, right? Like
Yeah.
walking into the War Between Worlds or going to Mortis to be like, there is no war anymore. We're going to eliminate conflict. Like that's the kind of power that Balin Skull is after.
Yeah.
By the way, I love this like very sparse animation um, that Ezra's walking through. We didn't know it at the time, but this was not the first appearance of the World Between Worlds. In the Rebels Recon episode, they talk about how in the Jedi Temple, the
It's so
way that
unnerving.
Yoda reaches out to find Ezra to give him his lightsaber crystal and all that kind of stuff, he gets him that through the World Between Worlds, which is why it kind of looks similar to those scenes through the Jedi Temple, which I think is interesting. And then here's Morai.
Oh, she knows the way. You are always close by. How did you get here?
I remember watching this
Mm,
and thinking like there's no way he's gonna grab her
yeah.
or she's gonna escape. Like I thought Ahsoka died,
Yeah, I
and I
thought it
thought
was
it was a
gonna
very
show the moment of her death.
yeah, and then maybe he'd be able to commune with her Force Ghost.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. I was like full on in the Force
Same.
Ghost territory.
This is cool. We get to see like what happened after all this. Mora's like, get
And
ready.
and you know that Dave planned this like when it happens. Season
Yeah.
2 finale, getting ready for all of this.
Oh my gosh, it's so tense. Like, get it, girl.
Oof.
She doesn't think, she just does. And she would have definitely died there. He would have definitely killed
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it.
Somebody actually argued with me once and said, it's his Padawan. He wouldn't have killed her. I'm like, he killed his wife.
He he definitely tried to kill her.
Yeah.
He wasn't super successful at it. And he's tried a couple times now. Ahsoka somehow keeps living. Um, Ahsoka has a little bit of plot armor, as we know, but if we're looking
Yeah.
for in-universe answers, um, like the Force wills with the Force wills, and I do think when she died on Mortis, the light side of the Force attached itself to her with
Yeah.
Morai and whatever else, and found ways to keep her going, even when logically she shouldn't have made it out of certain situations.
And you can see
Like
Morai in the daughter's hair right there.
yeah, yeah, there she is. and she's hanging out with Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka seems to be, if I were writing the end game myself, and I don't know how much Filoni has thought about this, like at some point all gods die or all gods crumble or fall or whatever, and sometimes they need to be replaced. Is Ahsoka the next daughter? Like the next whatever bearer of the light side of the force? Like, does that all need to turn over? If you want to make the case that like the reason we've spent so much time the last 40 years with the Skywalkers and everything else is because there's something special about the people that existed in this time period, it's because they will replace the pantheon of gods that we knew beforehand. Like you could easily make that case then and be like, Ahsoka's one
Oh
of
yeah,
them. Like she's gonna be
absolutely.
someone who takes up the mantle of like the person who defends and protects the light side of the force. Like she is the embodiment of it. And then maybe she'll be worshipped over the next however many hundreds or thousands of years as the new daughter. Maybe they know the name Ahsoka. Maybe her name changes to Ashla, right? Which was the original idea.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I think could be really interesting. And the owl, matches her colors or something. Like
Mara's like, look.
I could see Ahsoka becoming the thing of legend, kind of like how Luke Skywalker is kind of a bit of a legend for people, and they
Yeah.
know him as a really powerful Jedi. You can imagine Anakin being the one who brought balance to the Force, as kind of the purveyor of the light side, the balance, and Ahsoka being the light side. It's not clear to me still as to who the dark side is, unless you actually want to elevate Palpatine. But like that that idea of rebuilding Mortis or something could be really interesting.
Mara's like, I helped.
Yeah. I would love to see Morai take on Ahsoka's colors. Yeah, so Dave, um, if you've ever watched the TV show American Gods, one of
Yeah,
the things that's really
love that
interesting
show.
about that show is they talk about how um, gods come and go over time. And so the Greek gods, like Odin or Norse gods and everything else, like only exist and have power when people believe in them. Like that's really what it comes down to. And so there's like an old Egyptian goddess whose like temple is destroyed and she's like homeless and powerless and whatnot until some of the new gods, the god of media, the god of technology, find her and hook her up with like technology to make things work. Right. So like that idea that what we worship over time changes, I think is really interesting. And American Gods does it really, really well in
So
season
good.
one. Yeah, I love season one of American Gods. Season two is not as good, but it's still like a great premise.
Yeah.
And I don't know the books, by the way. I've heard the books are amazing,
Oh yeah.
but I only
Neil
know the
Gaiman can
TV
write.
show. Yeah, it's another Gaiman, right? Like it's. I also don't know the Sandman books, but that
Love
first
them.
season of the show was unreal.
This next season is gonna blow your mind.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
It's probably um there's so much story that can be told both with like in mythology, because blending mythology in it is Gaiman's thing, but also like continuing character stories and things like that. We learn more about the prodigal, we learn more about, what happened between the endless that made them split.
Mhm.
So it's so cool.
I want more of Death. She was awesome.
Oh, I love Kirby. She's so great.
Mhm. And yeah, the Norse
Neil
gods are
Gaiman
fun.
did that.
Yeah.
1602. Just kind of
Um,
bringing back all
yeah,
this.
and look in Star Wars they sort of the Force is kind of a thing, but they don't really
Oh,
have gods in Star Wars, you
this
know?
is where Ahsoka's guiding him to stop and don't go save Kanan. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Oh
interrupt.
boy. No, no, no. I think this is the big lesson, right? Like there's a let go component. We already mourned him. We got a whole episode of mourning him, and the if you go through the stages of grief, we like just made it to acceptance like minutes ago. And now with the idea that we could undo it because he thinks he undid the Ahsoka thing, but
Yeah.
like he didn't actually undo Ahsoka being killed. That's what's so interesting about this. It was always meant to be that Ezra was going to save her. Like because we do see at the end of um Twilight of the Apprentice, Ahsoka walking away, which I thought was a metaphor of her walking into the afterlife. But like
Yeah, same.
Filoni did show us that she was physically walking away. So again, I didn't take it at face value. Um, so yeah.
Oh, this writing.
So it'd be interesting, and I'm sure the unifying force has talked about this. What are the gods of Star Wars, right? And, like, the Mortis gods are probably um, revered in some circles, but then even within like the witches, they've got their own hierarchy and stuff. But do they worship a power or a person or what? Like, even the Jedi don't really. They don't pray to a person. They just understand the Force as sort of a nebulous thing, right? It's very abstract, and it's they have an explanation as to what it is, but there's not a person they're praying to. Yeah.
This is even more of
Kanan's asking to let
acceptance.
go. Yeah. He's being tempted. So everyone take notice that in the actual framing, the thing at
Oh.
the top is a Sith symbol. Like, the
Mhm.
Sith symbol is showing him what he wants, um, and tempting him. So it's the seduction of the dark side. Like, I don't think that Ezra could have actually saved him, but what he would have done was grabbed Palpatine and pulled him into the world between worlds.
Honestly, if Kanan, if Ahsoka wasn't there, Ezra probably would have tried to save Kanan and just
Yeah, it would have been really
this
bad.
this is definitely like Palpatine using like the things that he wants the most to just
Yeah.
mess with him.
And look, he's saying it out loud. I want my mom and dad. And what does Palpatine offer him 2 episodes from now? His mom and his dad. He's listening. Look at the top of the thing. That's the
Yeah,
Sith symbol.
it's a
Everyone pay attention.
spy.
Pay
It's right
attention.
there.
Media literacy, people. Um, Dave, I like what you're saying about technically you can be a Jedi and it's accepted as religion. So the Jedi are kind of like priests, but they don't serve a god. They serve a religion that has an abstract understanding as to how the universe functions, right? Um, so I actually don't think the Jedi would ever worship a person or a thing or whatever. And I wonder if they understood that the Mortis gods were actually like a real thing, or if they think that's kind of a legend, like the way we think of as like Zeus, right? Being a legend. Yeah, so excited to see Palpatine. I mean, Palpatine in this episode says the names Ahsoka Tano and Ezra Bridger. Like,
So
that's
wild.
fucking cool. Like, it's just amazing. Oh, here we go. We're getting Mr. Exposition Dump over here is explaining the Mortis stuff for anyone who didn't watch Clone Wars.
Sorry about the mess.
Hmm. I like Palpatine with his little cauldron over there.
He's like double, double, toil and trouble.
And Palpatine, or in this case, it's Darth Sidious. Do Ezra and Ahsoka realize that it's actually Emperor Palpatine? I don't think they
Probably
do.
not. No.
They realize it's a Sith Lord with a black cloak, right? Um,
That must be so trippy to run on a clear walkway in like endless
yeah.
space.
Oh, I'd fall right off.
I'd be
This
like,
clumsy bitch would be
ah,
floating through space. Yeah.
crawling.
Yep. Look at Sabine go, taking out those
Girl,
troopers,
kick some butt.
and there's Zeb. Yeah, get out of there.
Zeb with his fists.
Oof. Run to the side, people.
Yeah, okay, this is like Prometheus when
Yeah.
Charlize Theron is running straight and it's like
Look, that
run to the left or the right. Why are you letting this monolith fall on you?
here's the thing. That movie had so many problems. I
Yeah,
can't even get caught up on that scene. I
I
am
know.
very excited about Romulus though, which comes out this
Ugh.
weekend. We're gonna go next
The
Tuesday because I refuse to
marketing.
pay full price for anything anymore.
Of
So we're
course not.
doing cheap Tuesday night tickets next Tuesday.
Of course, that's a good idea. But the marketing with like people laying around with like the breathing like face huggers, like
Mhm.
oh
The
no,
effects look great, I gotta
that's
say. All right,
that's
look at
like,
that.
but
All
this
right.
is like actual people like laying on the ground outside San Diego with like the face
Oh yeah,
huggers.
it's nuts.
Like, what
All right,
is
so
wrong with you people?
Ahsoka's back on Malachor, um, and got to say her farewell to Ezra. Um, I don't know how long she's still on Malachor or how much time went by, but like
She's
this,
hurt,
you know,
but she's
um,
alive.
yep. And then Ezra's gonna jump back to Lothal.
Go, Ezra, go.
Palpatine really needed one of them to like anchor himself, to like pull himself in. It doesn't seem like he can get in on his own. And this is where like the world between worlds has like clear entrances and exits, or only certain things can happen. Like the way it's used between the Lothal Temple and Yoda to get Ezra his crystal is one thing, but like you can't physically get into the space where you can travel between time and space, you know?
Right.
Um, so now Ezra has to close the temple. Oh, dum dum dum. Chopper to the rescue.
Yes.
Oh my god, how many troopers does he kill in this episode? Chopper's got him. Don't worry, he killed all those people. All I wanted to do was fist bump the mural, but I was like, let me not get arrested.
Or like do the fist bump thing and then the whole thing falls over and it's like, oh, that'd
That
be
would be
my
my
luck.
luck. Yeah. I was actually just looking at photos from last year because, after having just been on the vacation, which by the way, Sarah Barnes, I know you messaged me. I still need to go through my photos as well. Oh my God, this animation is so gorgeous.
Oh,
Like, um, I was looking at photos from last year's celebration and I was looking at the mural and I forgot that like the night before the mural was sticking out over the barricade and so you could see the top of it. And I remember taking that picture being like the mural and I like lost my mind. Um, and then I didn't get a chance to fist bump it on the final day even after the barricade came down. I really should have. That should have been the photo. So if they ever bring it back, that's my goal. I like that this jerk is screaming about the knowledge being lost when it's like Palpatine's trying to destroy the universe, sir. Like, we don't
but
want you having
also
any
like
knowledge.
no matter what he tried, he couldn't get it open. So
Yeah, well, you need a
he's
force
been around.
user.
Yeah, he's been around
Yeah.
a long time. Oh my
Yeah,
God, Chopper, no.
I think ultimately, like, if Palpatine were physically there, well, you have to wonder if a force user could do it or it'd have to be a Jedi. Because to the Jedi to open the hand, the hand opening needed to come from the daughter. The hand closing could come from the
Ah,
son, but like, do
ah.
you need a light side user to open it?
That line, the
I don't
force will
know.
be with you always.
Oh,
Kanan.
it's just so
Yeah. He
heartbreaking.
I think he definitely needed a force user and that considering that Jedi are at an absolute premium, it's like yeah, I wish I had gotten that tea. My friend ran out of she in the UK, she went and got that my merch shopping for me and she still has them in the UK. I have to send her some money to ship it here. But she tried to get that mural shirt and it was gone. But I have my one from Chicago in 2019, which is good. So, ugh, poor Hera. She's still traumatized.
I mean, there's only been a couple days since Kanan died, and now what happened? They already had a major run-in with the Empire. Ezra jumped into a wall, ended up in the world between worlds, which he has to even explain to everyone. Um, they nearly died again. The Emperor is coming. The whole temple imploded. Like, this is some crazy shit. The amount of things that happen in season 4 is actually like really out of control. If you really think about it, like the quantity of things that happened this season could have been spread over the course of like 3 seasons. But I get it, we're in
Seriously.
the end game, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
and there's the wolf, which Ahsoka says, like, it's the last of Kanan's will was being brought forth by the wolf.
Yeah.
So that's probably the end of it now. The
He
rest of it is
says
with them. Like at
good
this point forward, I would say as that wolf walks away right now, they're really on their own. Like
he says
everything they do from
goodbye,
this point,
Kanan.
yeah, this is it. From this point forward, every decision they make, every step they take, Kanan is not there. They need to do it on their own. He's prepared them as best as he can for the moments that lie ahead, which are going to be even more trying than the ones that they've already gone through. Um, and it's yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
Because right next up next is A Fool's Hope, you know, which the title really implies what's happening next. Do they think they can really take back Lothal? Like, do they think they have a chance of winning back this planet from Thrawn, from Price, from the Imperials in general? So,
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. And I know Ezra both Ezra and Hera are extra sad in that
yeah,
scene because they thought like, okay, I'm sure he must have explained to her how he saved Ahsoka and explained to her that Ahsoka said that, if you save Kanan, you all die. And
yeah,
she was kind of holding on to the hope that something could have been done,
yeah,
but it's just forcing her to let go. And the wolf showing up there and Ezra saying goodbye to Kanan, it's like, okay, this is the last time we see the wolves. Everything else is up to Ezra.
yep,
As you
yeah.
said, he prepared them as much as he could with the knowledge that he had, and it's up to them to do the work and put the rest in.
This feels
So
like the passing of the baton. Look, there's 3
it
episodes
totally
left.
is. Yep.
It airs as 2 because we get A Fool's Hope. So timing wise, it's A Fool's Hope,
Yep.
and then we get Family Reunion and Farewell as a double episode finale. Um, but it's not a lot of time left for them to
Yeah.
trick Price, um, uh, take back Lothal, vanquish Thrawn, summon the Purgles, like do all this stuff. There's a lot that
So
needs
much
to happen.
happens. It
Yeah.
could have been a movie.
Yeah, and in theory, I think had this been airing on like a Disney Plus platform, maybe it would have been one of those where it's like, hey, we've got a three-parter that we're airing as a straight through kind of thing. I do think that they stick the landing, and the finale of Rebels is a really fitting finale, the same way that Clone Wars, when
Yeah.
they finally got to it
When
in
they
season
got
6,
to
and they
it.
did
Yeah.
when they finally did Siege of Mandalore, was well worth the long wait that we endured. Um, and I think Rebels on the shortened time frame, with the shorter season 4 and everything, because I had heard as a licensee they were only planning on doing 3 seasons of Rebels, and then when Rogue One was coming out and they realized they had so much synergy, they
Yeah.
built in all this extra Rogue One
Which was
content and basically
incredibly smart.
so smart and
Yeah.
really must have taken a ton of planning. Um, and I think the the idea that they added so much content that was Rogue One related and a New Hope feeling that they then turned 3 seasons into 4. And it's why, in some ways, like the Thrawn thing goes longer than you'd expect. Because season 1 has the Grand Inquisitor, season 2 has the combination of the Inquisitors and Darth Vader, and then season 3 has Thrawn, season 4 also has Thrawn. Like seasons 3 and 4 basically got expanded into
Yeah.
like 1.5 seasons ish,
Fitting.
1
Absolutely
2/3
fitting.
seasons. Yeah, which I'm all for. Yeah.
I'm so
Um,
glad that they played that card because they could have rushed it. It could have been like so unsatisfying, but they did it. I think in the best ways to be able to tell us this story as effectively as possible was to extend it, and
yeah.
yeah, so glad they did.
And Rebel seems to be more prominent than ever. I got the
Yeah,
I got the ornament. Jason, could you give me the
you
ornament?
you
The
got the
ghost ornament?
ghost. I need to
Yeah.
get one.
I ordered,
Hopefully, I
or
have
I
a
should
good
say
weekend and get it. So,
Jason ordered it for me, as an early Christmas
oh,
gift. This is from Hallmark. I usually don't hawk a lot of
ah,
product on here, but like this is to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Rebels. It's a Hallmark keepsake for 2024 kids. So
I need
it's
it.
Christmas
I
this year,
need
which will be here
it.
before you know it. Um, this is, and it comes with batteries. I didn't plug it in yet, but this is the ghost.
So
Looks really good.
cool. I
Yeah, I'm
love
really
that.
happy with it. It's beautiful. I
I
wanna
heard
say
it
it was
plays
like
the Rebels theme.
$30. Yeah, it does play the Rebels theme. In fact, like,
Yeah.
here are the batteries, which I have
Oh,
not
yeah,
plugged
that's
in
how they
yet,
come.
like
Yeah.
yeah, but
They
it's a
if you
really
don't take
nice.
them out before you put them away for the year, the batteries
Yeah.
will die. So be smart with those.
Yep.
Oh, I love.
It's very well painted.
Where's the hook? Oh, I see it. It's on the top
Yeah.
there.
Right
Oh,
there.
that's wild. Where
Yep.
like the gun portal is.
Yeah, the hook's right there.
Does it have the
Um,
phantom attached? It doesn't
where
look like
are
it.
we? No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh,
No. Um, but you know what? I think it's still
it's stunning.
as yeah, and for me, I might buy another one for my car. Like I wish this were like half the size so I can hang it from my rear view.
Like a mini
Like
one.
yeah, like
Yeah.
in fact, there there are some other like a Lego Falcon would be cool or something for that exact thing, but
Mhm.
all right, why is
I
this
have
not
the
pulling?
Falcon for that, but they also did like the little the mini Lego sets of each ship, and I have the Hera one and the Ghost.
Oh,
I
nice.
have Mando and Grogu and the little mini Razor Crest, and I just got Rex. So it's I forget what they're called, but like the little tiny ships. Oh, and I have Han Solo and the little Millennium Falcon Lego set. So it's
Oh,
like
that's
that.
awesome.
It's literally that big.
Yeah, that's the kind of scale that I'm looking for. Yeah,
Aaron says, "Who
so
bought the animatronic Vader and Trooper from Home Depot?"
not
Oh
me. I'm
my
not buying
god!
that's you have to own a big house with a lot
I
of land.
Yeah, I don't have.
No, thank
I
you.
have land, but it's yeah. My mother would freak out rather than have me put that up. So
Yeah, I don't need that noise. I have too much junk as it is. Like this at least is a Christmas ornament, and then when it's not on the Christmas tree, I can just hang it somewhere. I'll probably
yeah,
like hang it here on my desk,
yeah.
which I'm now calling my prison, since I've been trapped in this room for a week, basically.
Oh,
I feel so
I'm
bad too with
sorry.
Jason being sick now, so
I
um,
hope he feels better soon too.
yeah, he'll be okay. Oh yeah, and you're right, Sherry. There's a Phantom micro machine that goes with the Ghost.
Yep,
So
you can get
there's
the both of them in one set on Amazon. So
yeah. Um, I I kept thinking we were gonna maybe do an episode about merch, but I'm just like not prepared to do one on Rebels merch. And now there's actually kind of more than ever. And in some
yeah,
cases, though, it's really tilted to Ahsoka live action, as opposed
but
to
it's Rebels
Rebels stuff.
characters, so
So yeah, Rebels characters,
I
which
don't
is a
mind.
good number of them now. Anyway, that was War Between Worlds, which we've examined before once on the channel. I think this time around, the more interesting thing is having seen how it was used in the Ahsoka live action and coming back to the original version,
Mhm.
just how powerful this thing could be. And I'm glad it was used so sparingly in Ahsoka,
Yeah,
just for her to really get that moment with Anakin. And to give us some fan service shit, which I really appreciated. That was cute. Clone Wars. Hayden dressed up as Anakin from Clone Wars. I mean, I never knew I wanted that until I saw it.
yeah. The
So
Hot Toys figure is like insanely cool. I
yeah,
cannot wait to get that one. So
yeah,
um,
very neat.
it's I never ever thought I would see that in live action, and just the
Yeah,
swagger, like having Hayden inject the swagger that Matt has had in Clone Wars, and I think him watching
yeah.
Clone Wars has really helped that. So,
Hayden
ah,
seems to have re-embraced Star Wars in a way that I think all of the young prequel kids are feeling,
mm,
where they were maligned when they were kids for liking the thing that no one else liked, and now they're kind of in control, and the
yep,
prequels are really ruling the day. And I'm here for it, by the way. Like I think, as people know, I'm not a huge fan of the prequels. They're not my favorite part of the saga. That
right,
being said, I would never like yuck someone else's yum, and I think there's some benefit in having a new generation of kids really drive the content more so than the older
yes, it
generation. Like I'm
does.
kind of tired of the oldest fans in this fandom because they're
Yeah,
pretty garbage. Like not the people on our network. I want to be
nope.
very clear. If you're watching this show, you're not part of the trash can. But the more
The
I
fandom
got in.
menace.
Yeah, I mean, there really is. Like, I was watching another video about the Acolyte, which my disclaimer on the Acolyte is I thought it was fine. And there are things in there that I think are really interesting. And there are things I liked, and there are things that I didn't like. But what I hated about the Acolyte had nothing to do with the Acolyte, it had everything to do with the fan reaction. Like, just the racism, the misogyny, the assholishness of it all, and the monetizing hatred.
Yeah,
And enough people being like, where were the white guys? And I was like, there's a white guy, and there's not just a white guy, it's
we've
usually
had
all
over
white
40
guys and
years of white guys.
of
Calm
only
down.
white guys. Like, but that's
Yeah,
the kind of thing where I'm like, but the moment that there isn't one, it's discrimination.
yeah,
And instead I'm
whatever.
like, you know what? Like, I
Those are the
think
same people that whine that they don't get a Pride Month or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, exactly.
insane.
Where's my straight pride month? I was like, well, we'll start doing that as soon as a single country outlaws being heterosexual. Like, it's the kind of thing where I'm like, there, you might not have this thing because you're in a privileged position.
Right.
I also thought that like the acolyte was so unoffensive in so many ways, and yet people were finding things to be angry about, like, oh, this breaks
Yeah.
canon. And I was like, well, it doesn't if you actually know the canon. And this other thing wasn't canon, it was legends. And then this other thing has nothing to do with what you're talking about. And then you've made a head canon for yourself that isn't actually canon, and that's why you're annoyed.
Yeah.
And so, like, but you can't have a logical, good faith conversation with those people. They're just here to be angry. Um,
Absolutely. Anger for
that's the
anger's
kind
sake.
of that's the kind of people that like I I don't want driving my Star Wars content. Whereas like the kids now who grew up with the prequels, I think came from a place where they were like often maligned for liking Jar Jar or whatever else.
Yeah.
And you have to think that it's people like them at the helm of like rebuild the galaxy. Like they're the ones who want fucking Darth Jar Jar and we're getting it. And that's what I'm here for. Like, let's do
Yeah.
that. Let's enjoy the
Let's
stuff
have
that's
fun
fun
with
and stupid and
this.
silly. Yeah. Like, let's stop treating it like church. Let's start treating it like the fun it can be. And I honestly think like Rebuild the
Full
Galaxy will be the
circle.
project of the year. Like without a doubt. I know it's short and I know it's silly and I know it's kind of dumb,
But
but
we
like
need this. We
yeah.
need this. We need to cleanse the palate because everything has
Yeah.
been so heavy lately with so many things at stake, and you just want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
enjoy
my god,
it.
I can't wait. I really want to do like a huge Lego Star Wars thing on the network where we watch
Yeah,
all of them. So I'll talk to the boys on the Thursday night watch along
absolutely.
and
That's brilliant.
you know, I also think there's something to the effect too of like if the Jedi Archives or the Unifying Force would love to talk about like Lego as a thing. I think there's a lot to do there. We will already be in Clone Wars territory by the time this airs, probably
Right.
if I'm doing my math right. It'll be right on the cusp. Because we are in the end game for Rebels Revisited, as I've mentioned multiple times now. Clone Wars Revisited is on the horizon, with Skip joining us as our third co-host very soon. In fact, we should probably pull him in the next few weeks, get him
Yeah.
onto these final episodes of Rebels with us. I definitely want him to watch the finale with us. So
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
that'll yeah, that'll be a big thing. And once we know for certain what the final episode date will be, think about a month from now, 4 to 5 weeks from now, we will make sure we plaster that everywhere because we want like the biggest attendance possible and everyone to watch live with us and cry with us and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Oh,
It's been like such a thrill doing this with you guys, and it doesn't feel like it's really ending because we're just going to transition into the next
yeah.
show immediately, and we hope you all follow us.
Yeah, but this is
But
our baby. We worked
yeah,
so hard and for so long, and we've had such an amazing time along the way that it's just, I don't know, it's a labor of
yeah,
love. It's
and
great.
Rebels is my favorite part of Star Wars.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and
why
it
we
always
do
will
this.
be. Yeah, it's such a good time. Well, let's talk about what else is happening on the network this
Aaron,
week. So
listen, you can just start again.
we will. I want to turn everything into a podcast too. So if anyone out there has any experience with how to convert YouTube to audio only and porting it into a
Yeah,
podcast,
please let us
um,
know.
it would be really fun.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about the network this week. So
Yeah.
Wednesday we've got a new episode of the Nerf Herders. On Thursday night we have a new episode of the
Hi,
VCN Watch
John.
Along, which they're doing another Mando episode watch along with a very special guest. I need to pull that up and actually remember who is the guest this week. I should have had this like locked and loaded already.
It's
Um,
fine.
they're doing Mandalorian season 1, chapter 8 with Mike Havens as the guest. The Nerf Herders are going to do a D23 roundup and San Diego Comic Con. So for anyone who is getting the D23 FOMO, don't worry. One, Screen Crush already did a Star Wars related video. Nando Cut already has a thing out. Like every Disney blog is talking about the changes to the park that are happening. Like there's a million things going on with D23. There's actually too much content. And if you're a parks fan, I got to say the big news is the expansion of Magic Kingdom and the new villains land that they're going to be doing, which I think is going to be really fun. So they're
Yeah.
trying to keep up with all the stuff happening at Universal.
And
So
also, like,
Thursday night,
incorporating the Mando into Smuggler's Run.
sure.
Did you see
Look,
that?
here's the thing. It's like we're talking villains land, like doesn't even fit in the frame, and then Mando's going to be in. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're still treating it with these kid gloves. Like, just tell me Luke, Leia, Han, and everyone are going to show up at Galaxy's Edge,
Yeah,
or they're going to add a
please.
ride. Like, if I have to scan one more fucking crate, like I'm going to say it all the time. Like, Star Wars shouldn't be church, and I shouldn't be scanning crates. Like, make
Exactly.
Star Wars fun.
Yep.
Um, And then Jedi Archives is going to talk about the High Republic panel from San Diego Comic-Con, which is right on. So
Oh,
that was the
perfect.
publishing panel, which will be really cool. Yes, Jonathan, John, Notman, huge expansion in Magic Kingdom.
Huge.
Um,
Huge.
yeah, it's going to be really fun. And Skip, you will be summoned soon enough for these final episodes of Rebels as we get ready to
General
turn
Ski
over to.
Truckle.
Yeah, you're gonna have to report for duty very soon, Ski. It's gonna be a good time. Uh,
So what
yeah.
are you doing this weekend? We'll do like a quick little
What am
recap.
I? Oh, so I missed my niece's birthday last weekend because of
Oh,
COVID. So we'll go see
sorry.
my niece probably, and that's probably the only thing on the agenda. I'm trying to keep it light considering everything else.
Oh yeah,
You said you
absolutely.
might have a convention.
Yeah, so I got word today that I will be in Artist Alley at Terrificon at Mohegan Sun this weekend. So if you are in the area, thank you. If you're in the area, come out. Amazing guest list for artists and celebs this year.
Mhm.
You can find me at table E8 in Artist Alley, just past the comic celebs, like right there. I'm really excited to be a part of it again this year, and thanks to Mitch and the team for having me. I'm excited. So
Mhm.
come out, get some art. I'll be there working on my iPad and
Yep.
drawing covers
And
and things like that. So
Terrificon is in Mohegan Sun,
Mohegan
Connecticut.
Sun in Connecticut.
Yep.
Yes.
It's about a 2-hour drive from New York City, and probably about 2 hours from Boston as well. I think it's like
Yeah, it's
equidistant.
an hour and a half
Um,
from where I live. So
yeah, it's
it's
really
it's,
not
it's
bad.
and the casino is
Um,
gorgeous. So
yeah, it's a
um,
nice place. I
and
missed it last summer, and then
yeah.
I'm
You were kind of like questioning to go, and then she, uh, yeah,
a million things
a
happened.
million things happening that weekend. So
Yeah, and then there's a good number of artists going, and then a few media guests. There's a lot of Star Trek people. So if you're
Courtney
interested in meeting Star Trek
Mulvers,
people, like that's a good
Ethan
reason to go.
Peck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. I hope you have a great
thank
convention. I'll
you.
be cheering you on from the sidelines.
Thank
I
you, thank you.
probably need to, even though I was home all week, I didn't really keep up with chores and everything else. And it's been like
Yeah,
that kind of week.
you
That
both
being
need to like
said,
throw open the windows and just
yeah. Well,
breathe.
I'm still sleeping in the spare bedroom, my little prison. So I'll probably fall asleep while watching a Firefly tonight. And we'll plot
Aw.
our Firefly Revisited.
I am so excited for that. You have no idea. That'd be so fun. Like just a
Oh
little
man.
like special
Well,
presentation where we just cover the series.
you know who
Because it,
has another YouTube channel in our circle of friends is Kat.
yeah.
So I'll see if she has any room on her programming.
But
Or
think about it. It's we always you always make the comparison that it's Rebels. It's very similar to Rebels, so it's Star Wars
yeah,
adjacent. Just
there we go.
saying.
We can compare it to Rebels. We'll
We
find a
can do that.
way in.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we're never gonna let go of Rebels. This is
We're
gonna
never
be
letting go of
our
Rebels. See,
yeah.
Notman's looking forward to it
We
too.
have
So
four
it's
viewers
happening.
so far. Notman, Sherry, Sarah,
Sarah,
me and Ashley. Dave said he'd watch. There we go. That's enough for
Aaron.
a show. I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
we got
Spencer. We're gonna
squad.
break records over here.
All right.
Um,
Where's Spencer? You listening? You
I
listen
don't
for
think
all the
he's
other
on
stuff.
tonight. This is the
Yeah,
first time I haven't seen him in the chat in a
that's
while.
crazy
Something
to me.
wrong. I'm nervous now.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of scary.
yeah.
Not gonna
Oh my
lie.
God! Don't tell the boss. All right. No one tell Spencer about our secret show.
Okay.
It'll be on alternating Saturdays. We'll lock him out. Uh, but yeah.
Oh,
But
why can't
don't
I
forget
access the
everyone.
group?
Yeah, like do do do. Um, don't so but while we're waiting for Firefly Revisited, be sure to check out everything else happening on the network. As I
Yes.
mentioned, Nerf Herders, Thursday night watch along, Jedi Archives this week, and of course we're back for another episode of Rebels Revisited. We have a listicle next week. I'm so
Best
ready for this one.
of Hondo. We're doing our boy, our favorite
Best of
space pirate.
Hondo, you guys. Like he's not in that many episodes, but every instance is a best of. So we're
Yeah,
basically just gonna wax poetic about why we love Hondo, and we'll probably mention a little bit about his Clone Wars appearances and
of
like where to
course.
follow him, like what are the must-watch episodes. Because
Hmm.
damn, is Hondo not like the best ever? We
Oh
love, love,
yeah,
love our Hondo. He's
he
so
shows up.
quotable.
Chaos abounds. It's happening.
Yeah, it's gonna be so dumb. And because he's just like a lunatic in the best way, and he's so different from his Clone Wars version. Like he changed a lot in the time between Clone Wars and Rebels, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yes, everyone join us next week for Best of Hondo, and then after that, A Fool's Hope. So we are nearing the end, as we mentioned. But yeah, we're right on the cusp, and then a few more left to go. So
Oh my god, that would be so difficult. Didn't we
look,
talk to Tim about this?
very briefly. So you know
Yeah.
how some people are like, maybe I'll come to your show, and then other people are like, sure,
No.
kid, and the card goes in the trash. I don't want to say the card went in the trash, but I don't think it made it into a wallet. So
Yeah.
um, I think I would rank on the list of possibilities low for Jim. Where there might be some other people who might be willing to join us for Clone Wars Revisited when we start up there. I'm actually like working on a guest list for Clone Wars Revisited
Oh,
now that
exciting.
we're so
Okay.
deep into the end of Rebels. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah. But all right, that's everything for this week. Thank you everyone for
All right,
staying with
guys.
us, for hanging out, doing World Between Worlds. Appreciate it.
Emotional destroying. Yeah, it's fine. We honestly like so good to be back and doing this again. And make sure you guys check us out on the VCN. Check out our T Public store. Subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss any notifications for shows. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Good night, guys. May the
May the
force be with
force be
you.
with you.